Welcome. I'm Bernice Ross, the CEO and President of Brokerage Up and realestatecoach.com.
My name is Greg McDaniel. I am with Real Estate Uncensored, one of the most popular podcasts on the intraweb. And today, Bernice and I are Real Estate Coach Uncensored.
So what we're going to be talking about today is how to have your best year in 2020. And I want to start with a concept that many of you may have heard of. There's a great book called The E-Myth.
Great book.
Yes,
great book.
Absolutely. And Michael Gerber is the author of this book. And in that book, he talks about this notion of working on your business versus working in your business. And working on your business means that you take time to pull away from the working in part of your business, which is, going on listing appointments, generating leads, presenting offers, all those things, and focus on, what is going on in your business. And this is your business planning. Are you on track? Looking at your return on investment in terms of your spend. What we're going to be doing today is to do a real deep dive into how you can find out what's going on in your business. So Greg, I want to begin, why don't you define the 80-20 rule, because this is one of the important concepts. And then we're going to we'll give you some ideas about how to find out where you should be concentrating for 2020 based upon what you've done in 2019. So Greg, tell them about the 80-20 rule. I know a lot of people have heard about this, but for those who haven't, what is it?
Yeah, sharing the knowledge. 80-20 rules is actually, I think it's called the Pareto law.
The Pareto principle, yes.
The Pareto principle. And it basically spans everything in life, literally everything. It says, out of the 100% of things you can do, 20% will create 80% of your results. And we all run around and try to do it in the reverse and spend time in the 80%. And we don't know what's going to work and what's not going to work until we start tracking it and we start understanding where our deals have come from, where they might come from in the future. But based on those historical, data, you'll be able to make, smart moves in 2020 and the years and beyond. So I think that first understanding that, out of the 100%, 20% is going to create 80% of your revenue or profits or leads or anything else. So Bernice, the real question is, how in the heck do we find out what that 20% is? And you have an incredibly fun and interesting, and I find it as a personal, good, fun challenge to kind of refine that down. So what does that look like?
Well, here's what I'd like everybody to do. First of all, I want you to make a list of all the things that all the transactions you've closed in 2019, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Then the next thing I want you to do is to take a look at where did each of those leads originate? Was it from cold calling? Was it from open house? Was it for online leads? You want to look at the source of those leads. So that's one column. You want to look at the price ranges on, and then you're also going to look at the characteristics of your clients. So for example, do you have a lot of people who are boomers? Or do you have a lot of people who are who are millennials? What does your client base look like for closed transactions? And then one of the things I found that's really useful as well, look at their age. And you do want to look at the kind of properties they're buying. And one of my clients, when she did this, she noticed that she had, of her 20 some odd transactions that she closed, she knows she had done 3 transactions with people from India. And they were close to $1 million. And I said, it seems to me you ought to take a look at doing that going forward. And what she found the next year when she did that, she focused on that particular niche, she got a $2 million listing and a $4 million sale. So what you're looking at now is you want to go back through now and see if there's a pattern. Are you selling condos in, say, the $200,000 to $300,000 price range? And she was in Silicon Valley. She was niched into about 550 to 600. For her niche, maybe it's a little bit more up to 650, but she had a very clear niche for residential sales and for condo sales. And then she also discovered, she didn't know this until she did this exercise, she looked at marital status, and almost half of her clients were single women. They were either divorced or they were single, but, and they worked in the tech sector, Silicon Valley.
Naturally.
So now she's got a picture of her ideal client in terms of age, marital status, type of job. And using the 80-20 rule is you want to spend 80% of your marketing dollars marketing to those people that, where you're closing. So if you're getting a lot of transactions in the 3s or 4s, look at that. If you're getting a lot of people who, what's your listing versus buy ratio? Are you getting more listings and that's what's closing? Again, you want to focus on where you're getting the most transactions. And if you're a buyer's agent and you don't do as well with listings, then maybe you double down on that and do more buyers if you're, if that's where your strength is. So you're looking for the top 20% where you're going to move 80% of your efforts, for the upcoming year. Now, the other piece of this, Greg, that bottom 20%, how much do you think that's, the bottom 20% of your activities? If we're getting the top 20% gets me 80, what's the very bottom 20% getting me?
I'm going to go with probably very little to nothing.
That's the correct answer. So what you can do is you can, hack off that bottom 20% and focus on the top 20% and get rid of that bottom 20%. What that does is it leaves room for you to be able to add more business, to add one more new thing in 2020 that will help you to make more business, to do more business. Now, you had a really interesting take in terms of what it takes to add new stuff. You talked about the comfort zone, the stress zone, and the stretch zone. I hadn't heard that particular comparison before. Could you elaborate on that?
So your comfort zone is where, obviously, where you're comfortable. We're all very familiar with that phrase. And in life, there's never any standing still. You're either going forward at some rate of speed or you're going backwards at some rate of speed, progressing or regressing. And what this little analogy says is that you're either in your comfort zone, which has gotten you what you have now, which will not get you what you need, what you want in the future. So I talk to a lot of people, and let's use video for an example. Let's say people, because you got to do it. Everyone's been yelling at you. I've been yelling from the rooftops for years from my video podcast on how to get into this stuff and how to stand out. Let's say 2020 is the year. Well, you're going to go into 2 additional zones in your life. Your first step is going to be into your stress zone. Now, your stress zone is where you're going to be stressed about this new activity, this new marketing venture, this new whatever it's going to be. But if you keep going in this venture, which is going to bring you business, you're eventually going to get into your stretch zone. Now, your stretch zone is where you truly want to be living. And what that means is that you're not stressing out, but you're stretching yourself. So you're a little bit uncomfortable, but you're getting more proficient at these different actions. If you ever find yourself laxing back into the comfort zone, you need to make a shift and change some aspect with it immediately, or you're just going to stay exactly where you are at that moment. I know for myself, a lot of the times that I've been through stress zones and stretch zones. Heck, I'm going through one right now in regards to a shift in my business. So, and learning a whole new side of buying properties on terms. And, it's freaking stress. I'm stressed right now because I don't know every right word. That's a lot of the same thing I hear in Bernice. I know you've trained thousands of agents and you hear the same thing. Well, I gotta be perfect. No, you bleeping don't. All you gotta friggin' do is just show up. I mean, what is that? 87% or some astronomical number of people will list with the first agent that they interview. So if you just get it to more bats, you're gonna get more successes. And you could be a dum-dum. Not that you're a dum-dum, but you might not have all the right words to say. People will see the authenticity of you trying, and if you're transparent with them and you say, hey man, this is kind of stressing me out, like I know I'm not going to say everything right, but I hustle and I grind, and I know that you want someone like that. Am I wrong? I mean, if they say no, then bon voyage.
They're not your client.
Yeah, whatever. It's not your client. It's not your people, man. It's not your tribe. But Bernice, with your experience, is it the fact that people are intimidated by top agents that they feel will do better than them, or do they think they absolutely have to be perfect in everything that they do, and that's the only way they'll get the listing?
Well, Greg, it's something entirely different. And if we had a little bit more time, I'd actually have you go through this process. It would be pretty funny. In fact, I'm sure going to ask you something right now. I want you to change 2 things about your appearance. Just change 2 things for me right now.
I don't think you want me to take my shirt off. I'll take the pen off, and Glasses.
Okay, so you changed two things about your appearance. Now, I used to do this with my Psych 1 classes when I was teaching out in Woodland Hills, and and it's September and it's 107 degrees with no AC, and they come walking in their shorts and t-shirts and not much else, So I'd have them, look at each other. And we said it was an experiment in observation. And I'd ask them to change two things about their appearance. They had to figure out what their partner changed. They turn away from each other. And then I'd go back the second time. I say, change two more things. And what they did is what you just did, is most of us look at change in terms of taking away.
Oh. Oh my God, I see what you're saying. Oh my God.
Yeah, it's kind of between the eyes, isn't it?
Oh, it just like smacks you right in the noodle. You're just like, gosh, damn it. How did I not think about that? So, I mean,
we're all wired this way. So the goal here is to think of, where you bump into, you think I've got to change, and you see it as giving up or taking away something. And instead, the goal is to say, that you're adding to. So you get a new phone, and okay, you give up the old phone for, so you're going to get, it's still a phone. It's going to do the things all the old phone did, but it's going to be an upgrade. Or sometimes you will give something up, but the question becomes is what is more valuable? And you're not going to know that until you do the change. So, if you look at how you were even at the beginning of 2019 and where you are right now, you're a very different person.
You know what? I am. In 2019, I was 15 pounds heavier. What else was I doing? I just know I was fatter. And now that you guys can't see these, but these are my Spartan medals that I've won 3 races. Well, I haven't won. I ran 3 races. I'm very proud of that, and I have 2 more next year, I think. And the thing is that I changed something, and I took away the overweightness, and I put on muscle, right? So does that counter out like to net zero, or did I add ultimately?
Well, it's what you've done is one of the ways that we can deal with change is we look at so say first of the year, everybody's probably carrying some extra pounds. I already packed some on for Thanksgiving. I'm doing a little bit of intermittent fasting to get rid of that for the next couple of days. But the goal is you want to be able, it's these small changes where and sometimes it's substituting one thing for another. So, instead of sitting in front of the TV with my chips or my ice cream, get up and call someone, go do something that's active, get away from the TV, put yourself into a different environment. So you are substituting in rather than trying to get rid of. But I want to bring this back around to then this notion of say you're trying, when your goal is to add video for 2020.
Sure.
Then, so start with something simple. And, you're the expert on video. What would you recommend? Where's a great starting place for them?
So here's the thing that nobody thinks about. And it's the fact that everyone is their own little evil genius in some way, shape, or form in their life. So you can be an evil genius at fixing bicycles, sewing, cooking, woodwork, whatever, right? Raising kids because you've raised 200 of them. Literally, what do you think orphanages are? They raise children. But I want you to start doing videos on something you're really good at. And a lot of the people, when they say, well, Greg, I can't do that. It's not about real estate. I said, yeah, that's the point. Because what I want you to do is I want you to become a human. And we go down a deep dive on video and YouTube and all kinds of other stuff. But here's the thing. This is how you bring it all together, okay? Let's say I make hats, okay? So here's a hat I made, right? Supposedly. Well, I'm going to make a series of videos on how to select the cloth, what type of needle to use, what kind of gauge, thread I should use, the whole 9 yards. And make the videos short and very easy to follow. And here's how you bring it together. Hey guys, my name is Greg McDaniel. I'm with eXp Realty. And today we're going to be talking about discussing the quality of cloth to build a hat. Blah, blah, blah. Yakety schmackety. We go down, we talk about it all. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. Again, my name is Greg McDaniel. I'm at eXp Realty. If you have any questions about how to pick the quality of the right cloth for your hat, or any real estate questions, my number is 925-915-1978. Text or call me. Stay tuned for the next video, and hope you have a great day. Header, footer, every single time. They're living business cards, and they just go and go and go. And you know what? Once you get more proficient, or if you want to talk about real estate stuff, okay, start sprinkling in some real estate videos. But if Bernice loves to make hats, and she saw my video about making a hat, and I shared something with her of knowledge, there's going to be a chemical bond between the two of us, and she's going to feel indebted to me. And I didn't even do anything. I didn't ask for anything. I just gave. And so the law, of reciprocity comes into effect. And she's going to want to help me out because I gave her something in return. So start with something you know, and you say, hey, I'm with so-and-so with X, Y, and Z real estate. Hey, I'm so-and-so with X, Y, and Z real estate. Give me a call if you want to learn about this product, or if you want to talk about real estate. That's how easy it is to start. And there's nothing stupid about making anything about any video. I mean, let's keep it in the parameters of within, the law. This is how you properly break into a bank. Probably don't build that one. Okay, that would probably get you in trouble. But you get a whole new clientele. I mean, you'll be needing all the local law officers in the area. But yeah, that's my rule. Just to start having fun with it, and don't care about. You don't have to be the best video camera. An iPhone 10 has a phenomenal camera. The 11 is arguably a little bit better, but it's not going to make a big difference. Just start producing content. Don't freak out. Yes, your videos in the beginning will suck. For the most of us, okay? Mine did. Oh, they were horrible. I mean, horrible. I mean, what was I thinking with my outfit and my hair? Oh. But just start, and then you will see a progression. I mean, Bernice, you've seen this happen all over the place.
Well, that's how things grow, and that's getting out of your comfort zone. You talked about the stress zone, and then you get to the stretch zone.
Mm-hmm.
Think that this idea, and I want to come back to this idea of the hat. My friend Joanne Fossen, who's another coach, she says no one ever got to the top by developing their weaknesses. And when you talk about something that you're passionate about, you're going to attract people who share your passion.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that's a really important part of your business is, who are you attracting? And that's what that exercise was before, put it on a spreadsheet or get a piece of paper and, put it, I'd say get it in a spreadsheet and know how to do that. Hire somebody who does, pay them $8 or $10 an hour, put it in there for you. But you want to get that data where you can look at it and then say, okay, what are my strengths? And then people, I think the last rule I saw on this says social media posts, 95% should be about, your post should be about the person that you're targeting and only 5% about you. So it's really, when you do something that's, if you're passionate about making hats, then you want to find those other people out there who are in your market area and do business with them. And if you're passionate about something in your neighborhood, if you're passionate about your political party, whatever it is, you're looking for people who are like-minded because we attract who we are, and we want to do business with, people who are like us. So one of the takeaways here is to focus on your strengths, on your top 20%, that, and based upon, and again, looking at that profile, take what we talked about at the beginning. What price range is your sweet spot? What age group? Are they married, unmarried, with kids? No, not kids. What areas, subdivisions? Are you attracting international clients? If so, where from? You're looking for those patterns in your business, and that's where you want to focus. That's the key thing. That's where you want to focus. So get rid of the bottom 20%, focus on that top 20%. And then
question for you though on that thing really quickly, because I think this was going through my mind. Let's say door knocking was in my bottom 20%, just because that I live in a rural area and it's not effective, right? And I take it out. Now, can I ever put it back in? Or is it just going to be dead for life? What are your thoughts?
Well, first of all, I want to see what is working for me. So I would suggest doing this exercise maybe once a quarter, where you're tracking where your business is going. Because if your market is changing, so for example, say that I've had an area that's been very hot and all of a sudden it goes quiet. So
Mhm.
look at your sales board, look at your MLS. Where's the activity taking place now? And then you want to focus your efforts there. So you want to work on your business ideally once a month, where you go in and you say, okay, what worked for me this month? Then target my actions for the next month based upon what's working. And if I've been working in the upper price ranges and they go quiet, what price ranges are active? I want to move my open houses, my marketing to those areas where the clients are buying and selling. And
Yeah.
right now we've got a pretty clear-cut distinction going on here in the States. Entry level is buyer's market almost everywhere in the country. Seller's market. There's not enough inventory. Middle is kind of squishy at best, and the high ends we're starting to see declines. So, you may want to look at moving into that slightly above entry level or mid level if you're working the high end right now. And again, it's easier to sell, five $300,000 houses than it is to sell one for 1.5 million. Now, if you get lucky, but still, it's usually easier to do the lower stuff because there's more clients.
That is so true. I'm trying to remember the name of the system, but my father, the Grand Master, T. Diddy, he's been a huge fan of tracking my entire career, right, of the last basically 20 years. And what he would do, I hope I can remember the stupid name of the stupid mapping company. But what we would do is you go back by years. So we're end of 19 right now. So we'd go back and look at all the sales in 2019 and select the cities we work in, export that data out of the MLS, then we'd upload it into a mapping system. And then we'd do 18 and 17 and 16 going backwards. And then you color code them, and you can literally see your marketplace come alive with where the sales are trending to and where they have been in the past. It's when you see your market and you do it by month, then you really see the map come alive and take form. Then you get to know, okay, should I door knock or call in this area or mail this area, or you don't. There's no more guessing, right?
Well, the site that you can use for that is weissanalytics.com. Again, that's WEISS analytics.com, because they have the heat maps. Now, if you're in a non-disclosure state like Texas, it's not going to be as accurate. But for states like where you are in California, where they have public records, that data is golden, and it goes back to 2000. So you can see which areas are getting hot, which areas are getting cold. And it's something that can help you. Those heat maps can help you get your sellers to price their properties right on listing documents.
Yeah.
Well, Greg, we've talked about quite a few different things about working on your business versus working in your business, identifying where your strengths are, the comfort zone, the stress zone, and the stretch zone, and about adding one more thing. What are some things that you're looking at adding for your business for 2020? In terms of, one or two things that you would suggest that people add, or that you're going to add.
Okay, what I'm going to add is, and I actually made this decision the other day, is that I'm going to divert some of my marketing money away from doing just traditional like postcards or whatever else. And I'm actually going to take that capital and I'm going to go hire a local videographer for a day a week, and whatever it's going to be. Let's say it's $500 for the day and they do all the editing, right? So that's $2,000 for the month. And then they're going to cut up that content, and then I'm going to have my marketing team then disperse it out onto the social media network sites, and so that I can become bigger than in life. And I think I don't see anybody effectively doing this. I see people dipping their toes in, but if you guys are familiar with like Gary Vaynerchuk and kind of what he does, he has 18 people on his marketing team. Okay, not to mention a personal videographer. But I'm going to I think video is incredibly important. If you don't have the money for a videographer, guys, just take your phone here, and I want you to go to Inman News. I want you to go to realtor.com. I want you to go to, there's a ton of other sites, but just start reading an article a day and then give your thoughts on it on camera and be in different locations around the area so that people see you out and about. Go interview local businesses. I mean, we can get into the whole local business thing. I mean, that's a whole nother amazing opportunity where you don't have to be the expert on anything. But yeah, okay, so I'm going to put a videographer in, and I'm going to be doubling down and trying new social media apps like TikTok, just to see if there's something playable there. Maybe there is, maybe there isn't, but that's stepping into my stress zone, because I'm actually very nervous to go on TikTok. Okay, it is stressing me out. I don't know why. I just don't want to be yelled at or laughed at or something. I don't know. It's a bit, because that's the exact same story narrative that goes through everybody's head when they start about doing video. Like, I don't want anyone to yell at me. They're not doing video either. Okay. You'll be fine. If not, Bernice will give you a hug. Okay.
So to kind of wrap up for today, and what's one thing you're going to give up for 2020?
Oh God. What am I going to give up for 2020?
What's in your bottom 20%?
You know what? I think we're going to give up on online ads. They just have not performed well for us. We just have not seen a return on them. And I can take that capital and put it back into the branding, the content marketing that I'm going to start with a videographer. So I'm going to get rid of online leads. That's what I'm going to get rid of.
Okay. And in support of what Greg is saying, just our final statistic to wrap up for today is the National Association of Realtors just released their home buyer and seller profile for 2019, what happened this last year. And they showed, again, if all the websites, all the websites that there are, the Realtor.com, Zillow, Trulia, your company website, your MLS website only accounts for 4% of the closed listing transactions. Same numbers as open house. Stick an open house sign out, you get 7%. So final takeaway for today, if you're spending a lot of money on online leads, time to revisit it, and maybe that's in your bottom 20% for 2020. And if you're making a lot of money for that, if it's work, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So, I'm Bernice Ross, the CEO and President of Brokerage Up and RealEstateCoach.com.
And guys, my name is Greg McDaniel. I'm the co-host and co-founder of Real Estate Uncensored. Go find us on iTunes or YouTube. You can check a look at us there. And together, guys, Bernice and I are the Real Estate Coach Uncensored.
Thanks for being with us today.